The one thing that stuck out to me now was you had talked about mob tactics, like a lot of mob
Mm.
tactics and things like that in North Korea. And whether you like Trump, love Trump, hate him, I mean, 4 indictments in, 2 months. And, even if you like Biden or don't like him, it's kind of funny that something happens to Biden, boom, you indict Trump. If that's not a mob like tactic, that you were referring to, I don't know what is. And it's explained thoroughly in your book, and it's all like happening now.
Yeah, I really think that even judicial system and all these branches become almost became I they become so ideological. It's not about the facts and truth. I mean, compared to what they're doing with Hunter Biden, it's a joke.
Mm.
And I've never predicted that America ever gonna go through this path where third world countries would do something like this, right? Not in a country where there's like rule of law, clear transparency, and clear will of the people. That was just completely disregarded. And it's really one small elite that is running country right now. They are in power in these all high positions. And it feels like becoming more like North Korea every day is because small group of people keep consolidating power. And as a majority of people cannot really do anything about it. And that's a problem. In North Korea, there's a one guy, Kim Jong-un, got all the power, and 25 million people cannot do anything about it. And it seems like America going that direction more and more. There is a less small group of elites getting more power, and people are keep losing everything they have.
Explaining how your book, because you go into detail about that. And when I first read it, I'm like, wow, it's really bad over there. Geez, this is some terrible stuff. But now I read it, and like you said, you have King Jong-un as one. Well, right now
Mm-hmm.
there might be 4 or 5 running things, Soros, BlackRock, whoever, people we don't even know under the wind. But eventually it will be one or two that are controlling and running everything. In your book, how would you say you elaborate on that in the book? Like in the book, you really break that down. So if you could kind of give a sample of how you break that down and then how that's related to today.
I mean, in terms of North Korea or
Yeah,
in
North Korea.
terms.
Yeah, North Korea, because, like, for instance, to make it simpler, when I first read it,
Mhm.
I was like, wow, this is bad. This is really horrible. Now I read it and I see it happening in real time. So,
Mhm.
like, if you could take apart from your book and your words where
Mhm.
you elaborate on that, because now we're seeing what you wrote coming to realization.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's in a way, it's the same playbook. I really think there is, way if there's a dictator's handbook, I think all these organizations or states or regimes are copying that book. The first step the North Korean regime took was promising paradise to people, promising equity, equality outcomes to the people. So in order to, you know, eliminate all the inequality and providing free healthcare, free housing, free education, control. They need to decide how to allocate resources. Therefore, they need to now go abolish the private property. And government's gonna divide equally to everybody, and everybody's gonna be happy, and we are all the same. We are all equal. And that promise led to people to giving power to the government more and more. They gave up their private property, they gave up their freedom of speech, they gave up freedom of movement, and literally every kind of freedom that you can imagine. They've given one by one. But there was always this sweet promise that governments promised the people. And as soon as you're giving up those liberties, and in the beginning they do pretend giving it to you, and especially North Korean regime did that with the aid from China and especially Soviet Union at the time. And then after like 2 decades passes by, and then they realize, okay, there's no way people have no guns, they have no freedom of speech, there's no free press, and
Hmm.
people cannot travel outside, there's no internet, there's no way people can start a revolution or fight back. That's when they really showed true color, where they're original intention was just really, becoming a king, in a way, becoming God. That's what regime really did. And then we lost our ability to even criticize the dictator. Even if the one word you get executed in North Korea. And now I come to America, that same playbook is happening, especially by the left and some Democratic Party. They are saying to the people, they brainwash young generation that you deserve free healthcare, you deserve free housing, you deserve free education. And because of this, capitalist and greedy people, that you are not getting things that you deserve. So if you're giving me the power, I'm gonna take these things from those people and give it to you for free. And this is the same sweet promise that Northern regime promised to Northern people and Chinese Communist Party promised to Chinese people. And that's happening. And in a way, a bit tricky with America right now is at least we still have the Constitution. We still have the checks and balances. We still have the Supreme Court. We still have the guns, arms, and we still have the freedom of speech. But now they are taking freedom of speech because they are saying it's a tool for the people to spread hate and violence. Therefore, we need to abolish freedom of speech. And now they say, oh, there are school shootings. Therefore, we now need to abolish these guns. So that's why I'm fighting for these things. Because when North Korean people, when they lost those rights, what came to us afterwards was a permit kingdom. And I think America is in this battleground right now, this turning point. What path are we going to choose? Are we going to give up our freedom of speech, our freedom of movement and bear arms? Or are we going to understanding freedom comes with the responsibility and going to hold on to these values and constitution and fight back? And that's what I got through in the book, obviously, as you read.
Yeah, said beautifully. And I would highly recommend if you buy the book or get the audio, bookmark it, because it's almost like an Alex Jones thing, where you'll read something of this is never going to happen. But then you bookmark it and you go back to it in a year and it's all starting to happen. So right now it seems like they're kind of at the pretend stage. They're pretending oh, we're here to help you. Oh, you need a bailout. Okay, here's a check. This, that, the other. Brainwashing you with the social media, but then on the side, George Soros is buying Home Depot. Now you can't get this light bulb and you can't get this gas stove. And all these slow control things are happening while we're blinded by social media, where it seems like in North Korea, it was fear.
My time, it was complete fear, right? They ruled with fear and death and punishment. There's no mercy in that culture. If your ancestors commit a crime, you are guilty for the rest of your eternity. Literally, there's no ending of that punishment. And I see that in America by the leftist tactics is that, because of white men can never be redeemed. No matter what they do, there's never a day they can say white men are pure and equal like us. They're going to be always say white men are inherently evil because of their genetics, because of what their ancestors have done. It's like that in North Korea, because of your ancestor was a landowner, a capitalist, or somebody opposed the regime, now your blood is tainted. Your genetics is oppressive. And that tactic is coming to America where people are being divided by what our ancestors really did. It's not something that we were owning what we did. This is the dictators, the rule, the tactic they use, divide and rule. They have to divide the people, make the people not trusting each other, making people hate each other. In North Korea, they plant spies everywhere. Everybody's spy. You cannot even trust your own family. And now in America, they are saying, if you see something, say something. In college campuses, if somebody's saying something hateful stuff, say something. Come to the administration. Literally, they are planting seed of distrust and hate between people, so people cannot go each other and helping each other. Rather, now we have to look up to government to solve our problems. And that's how they always rule. And that's why America is so divided. It's not something just happened to America. We are questioning, why are we so divided? It's by design.